LODE is about to blow. LODE. This is Comstock Mining, miners, mining stock, which looks like a hot sector that's just starting to take off now. I'll show some trend lines, some bull flags, some crazy stuff. I'm getting excited about this one. Yeah, this is Brian Lewis with MMT Investing, and please smash the like, share, comment, subscribe, and notifications to help me out. Okay, LODE, LODE stock. Right, so this is Comstock Mining. So this is, I guess, mostly gold and silver miner, but they're minerals and metals. I saw like cobalt, lithium, magnesium, whatever. Um, just a kind of a tiny mining company. They're hyping kind of like green processes and just mining and minerals company. So this is the sector that I think is rotating in now, and I think that big tech and growth is rotating out right now. And as you can see, the down chops in the stock market have nothing to do with this chart. So I'm not worried about this chart pulling down if there's a crash like in the S&P. This thing is in its own little world, and it looks like it's flagging up an awesome bull trend line, and it looks like it already picked up support 1, 2, 3 times, and maybe popping real soon. This thing's not super fast moving. I mean, it's several weeks to flag here, so and also when it pops, it looks like it likes to pop overnight, like in one night, and open up. So I mean, this thing went from what, 1 to 4, and then it popped from 2 to 10. That's a pretty big pop. So yeah, so if we're picking up this trend line, it looks like we are, and we're pushing above support here. One of these days, over the next week, probably it will push into this trend line enough to pop, and it probably will pop overnight. That's LODE, and yeah, this is the miners, minerals, commodities, base materials kind of sectors that are all rotating in now, headed toward the top of the bubble. I've been saying we might see a pullback in here. Let's look at the S&P. I've been saying we might see a little pullback in the S&P because we're back testing the bull channel here. And so that is a huge risk for things like Tesla, for things like ARK Invest, for things like the Qs. This pullback could be devastating for those sectors, like the big tech and growth sectors could get crushed. But miners and minerals look like they're coming in and they're holding up strong and not really pulling back. If I take a look at like FCX, this is my favorite sort of long-term bull miner chart. It's a bigger company, Freeport. This is another miner and mineral company that has been bulling since the COVID crash, and it's pulled back with the market when the market checks back, but they're pretty small pullbacks, and it's bouncing uphill as the market's kind of bouncing sideways. Sort of like IWMs are like the non-tech kind of stocks, and they're bouncing a little bit better than the market in general as it pulls back. But if you look at like the Qs, for instance, the Qs are bouncing downhill and not making it back to all-time highs. So this looks like it's rotating out. The Qs look like they're in trouble, and ARK Invest looks like it's leading the Qs even harder. Like, this is the same chart as the S&P, but it's just drooping downhill and just dying. So it looks awful. I'm short ARK right now. I have a little short on Tesla just kind of for fun because you're never supposed to short Tesla. And was long FCX with a tight stop because I think we're gonna, but I got stopped out here. But yeah, like things like AG, like this is AG is just like a straight up silver miner, and it looks like it's picking up a chart, maybe picking up a bull trend line here. This isn't enough action for me to feel good about this chart, and it's really not popping that hard. And like a 2x kind of pop there is pretty good. It looks like it's flagging, but this LODE chart looks really cool. Like this is a flag pull and a flag and another flag pull. It looks like we're flagging right into this chart. And so this is the very beginning of what I think is a bull market for miners and minerals, and this looks like a killer flag. And I have a call option on this one that I got back here, but I might get some more like now because it looks nice. This is one of my favorite charts for today. Right, so that's LODE. I don't know what else is related to that. I mean, the meme stocks, like, GME and AMC have been doing these kind of flagging charts, but that's completely different sectors and stuff like that. Like, I think this is a sector that's coming in now, and it's going to be good for a while. And it doesn't seem to have like any exposure to the market crashes, which is pretty cool. It looks like you can just trade these charts, which is not investment advice, only smooth-brained entertainment scenarios. Yeah, so I guess just the general market. So I guess I'll look at treasuries real quick. I'll explain the market rotation thing that I'm on right now, which is as you're going up a credit expansion cycle, a stock market bubble. Let's get out to days. All right, so like before the bubble starts taking off, like treasury bonds will start bulling, and they've been bulling for a long time, and they're kind of topping, I think, and I think the treasury bonds have already started to rotate out last year, like before the COVID crash. The treasury bonds were topping and they're rotating out now, right? So that's what will usually happen towards the end of a credit expansion cycle is treasuries will rotate out first, and then the growth and the big tech will start rotating out. Qs, growth and big tech, which has been leading, for a while, but as I just showed earlier, the turnover in the market that's barely affecting other sectors is really pulling the Qs hard. So that looks like the tech and growth is trying to rotate out now. And then you just bull on the rest of the stocks that aren't treasuries and big tech kind of to the top of the bubble. But it's the miners, minerals, commodities, base materials, and then energy that start rotating in as you're getting to the top of the bubble. And so that's what I think is going on now is we're rotating into all of those sectors, which are sort of like bear market resistant sectors that when the stocks top and start crashing, those will be resistant to the pull downs, and they should be hot to the top. So those are going to be my favorite sectors that are kind of bullish and more safe than other things at the top. Whereas like IWM, for instance, I think will bull to the top of the bubble, and it's not seeming to pull down very much now. If we get another pullback, I mean, maybe a pull. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see where IWM pulls back to if we get a pullback. But I don't expect it to be a huge pullback. But I do think IWM will run. I mean, you can see how bullish it's a freaking straight line. IWM's like way out the top, and it can go farther. But when we really do top on the bubble, like IWM will not be safe. Like this thing will freaking crash with the market and probably lead it down from the top. Like I think IWM will be a small long position to the top, and it will be my number one short position when I think we're at the top. But like FCX will be my main long position for a while, I think, just because it looks like it looks amazing. Like FCX and Bitcoin look awesome. Like they have a similar kind of bullish chart, and they have minor pullbacks when the market is checking back. So Bitcoin was ignoring the market for a while, but now it's starting to pay attention to market pullbacks, is what I'm seeing, and also with FCX. So those are my two top twos. And FCX might even be better than Bitcoin. But yeah, that's kind of the idea, and it's almost similar. You start getting into like metals and commodities and things like that. That should be okay for Bitcoin too, because it's kind of like an alternate money thing. But it's going to get more complicated. I don't know how I feel about Bitcoin like on the backside of the bubble, or like the other alternate like kind of money things. Like silver's bulling. It did a huge bull last year, and now it's flagging this year. But it just looks like it's flagging sideways around like 24 now. But I think silver should pick up a bull trend line to the top of the bubble because we're getting inflation and like a commodity bull market, and that's a great combination for silver. So I think I'll like silver for several months to the top of the bubble as well. Gold is more of a protection thing for the backside of the bubble. I don't know. Protecting on the way up is less interesting, and it's kind of bearing right now, so gold doesn't look that interesting. But yeah, if you look at some other kind of monetary metals, like platinum's breaking out of its consolidation, or just commodities, like copper is a great example. For the commodity markets, like copper is just ripping out, bulling out of its long-term consolidation. So that's what I think we're doing now. I mean, like the metals and minerals and things will start bulling before you get to the top, and they already have started bulling, but they should be strong to the top. Like that should be the strongest sector to the top. So that's where I am on the market. And these little guys like LODE are pretty cool. So like the smaller miner companies that do some exploration and whatever, and they're supposed to be risky, blah blah blah. I mean, I don't know if this company has good management or whatever. I have no idea. I just know they're miners and minerals, and that's a good sector right now. And I can see this thing flagging, and that's what I look for, is just the chart flagging. And so this looks great. Like, I love this stock right now. This is LODE Comstock Mining, and yeah, that's kind of the market outlook there. I just wanted to pop one out on this one because a few people asked me about it, and I hadn't actually looked at it before that. So thanks, guys. And if there's any other miners, minerals, that kind of stuff, shoot me some symbols because I need to check all these guys out and see what's getting crazy, because this sector is about to blow up.